Hey guys, today's going to be my first review on my new YouTube channel called Guns and Gear. If you like me and you like my style of reviewing, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It will help me bring more reviews to you in the future. I apologize if my voice sounds kind of nasally. I have sort of a cold and it's very cold out here in my garage where I'm filming this. But today we're going to be talking about the Benchmade 9100 Auto-Stryker. It's a very nice knife from Benchmade's Black Class lineup. It has since been discontinued and replaced with the 9101 Striker. It has a blade steel of 154 cm to a Rockwell hardness of 58 to 60, a blade length of 3.7 inches from the factory, a blade thickness of 0.12 of an inch, with a handle thickness of 1/2 inch from the factory. That is one of many people's major gripes on this knife is the handle thickness. Even though it comes in at 3.9 ounces, which is a relatively light knife for what you're getting, it's still very thick in the pocket. You know, the Spyderco Delicas and Duras carry a lot thinner and a lot easier within your pocket. So that's just one thing to consider with the knife. Another thing that's my biggest gripe with the knife is the safety mechanism. When you not even fully, but we'll get that in a second. When you depress that all the way forward, it will not let you deploy the knife in any way. Now, if you accidentally bump it with your phone into the middle of the safety, excuse me, give me one sec, into the middle of the safety, it will not let the knife open at all in any way. So if you ever pulled it out and needed it right then, and honestly, it's just annoying. So if you bump your phone into it, putting it into your pocket, or if you fiddle with it while it's in your pocket like I do sometimes, I fiddle with the safety, which is not a good thing, but it will not let the blade come out in any way, shape, or form, and it will also not let you close the blade when it's in the open position. Excuse me. So that's just something to consider. I don't know if they remedied that with the new 9101 Striker that replaced this. I know that this is now bigger and more substantial in their words, so I would imagine that this might be a little bit harder to actuate, which would be good if you were putting a phone in your pocket. As you can obviously tell, this is an auto, so you'll have to check with your local state laws to see if this is legal to own or not. The knife came to me with a broken tip used as a screwdriver, which Benchmade specifically says not to do. The opening, or the opening of the blade was very gritty and did not have a very good feel to it. And so I sent it into Benchmade. Also, it was very dull. Excuse me. I sent it into Benchmade with $5 for their Life Sharp program to let them try to remedy whatever they could. It came back with all new screws, pivot screws, and those screws right there. And he reformed the tip, replaced the spring, replaced the locking pin, replaced the safety, all for only $5. So a big thumbs up to Benchmade right there. They do offer to replace the pocket clip when you send it in. I just elected not to because it was given to me as a gift and I wanted to keep it as original as possible. You can, when you send it in, these fit the same 9101 blade, so you could get a entirely new blade if you get one of these used and it's just beat to crap. And it has a plain edged version because that's what I prefer. I do not prefer serrations on my blade because I keep my blade very sharp. My blades very sharp. Now, when it came back and it had replaced pivot screw, locking pin, safety, and springs, it opens like a dream. It also has no more blade play, as it had micro blade play, and after all that he put it through, it's surprising that it didn't have more. It has absolutely no blade play, and he took it apart obviously and cleaned out the inside of the handles. That is another gripe on this knife, and it has been remedied for sure with the 9101, as the 9101 has openings in the back of the handle here so that you can more easily clean and maintain the inside of the knife. The inside of this knife really gets gunked up with fuzz from your pockets, and that really gets into the pivot screw here. You can use air, but it's not as easy if you don't have the spaces in the back, which again has been remedied with the 9101. Overall, this is a very, very nice knife. If you don't care for the little extra thickness, then this would be a very good consideration. Also, the pocket clip is a very nice pocket clip in my opinion. It's not it's not any way going to tear up your pockets when you're putting it in, because the aluminum handles are relatively slick and they come a little bit more grippy out of the factory. I've felt a new 9101 and they're a little bit more grippy, but this knife is so old and has been used so much that all the grippiness is pretty much gone. My one gripe about the pocket clip is up here, it's very thick up here, so it has slid halfway out of my pants down to here before, so that could potentially get caught on something and pull completely out, and then I would lose a very expensive sentimental knife. But it is a nice pocket clip. If this was a little bit more textured, it would be a perfect pocket clip, aside from it not carrying very deep. It's a very sturdy pocket clip, but it carries very, very high in your pocket. Well, I won't say very, very, because I've seen many knives that are worse, but it carries high. It's not a deep carry pocket clip in any form or fashion. The pivot on this is a very strong pivot. If you can tighten it down, but it will make your blade not open as easy. Personally, I like the factory setting, or how the setting came back from Benchmade's Life Sharp program. This has a very nice traction plan, relatively speaking. The finger choil is very nice, and I've used this knife a lot, and I've never felt like my hand didn't get enough traction. This jimping could have been a little bit longer up top, and that would have made it perfect, but you really have to dig in the tip of your thumb because it's not long enough to really lock in your whole thumb. You have to dig in the tip. They have a space right here before the blade actually starts its cutting surface, but it can't be used as a finger choil in any way because it's very thin up under there, and that would not feel good to any ungloved hand, and it's going to be, your hand's probably going to be way too thick to use with a gloved hand. So this is basically all you can, this is the only way you can grip the knife. You can do reverse grip. I would personally never do that in any kind of self-defense or utilize it in any way personally. This knife, as price on the Benchmade website, is $245. Now you can obviously get that a lot cheaper. One gripe with Benchmade is they recently made it where you could not, a lot of companies had discounts, like a 15% Benchmade discount from their advertised price, and now Benchmade has completely taken that away. You can no longer give the discounts. Every manufacturer has to give it at a certain price. It is good and it's bad. Your knives will retain value very well, and if you own any Benchmade knives that you have never used and now they can only be gotten for a certain value, that increases the value of your knife. But if you're looking in to get more Benchmade knives, you're going to be paying more money for them, which is a gripe and a good thing at the same time. It makes it where it gets knives into less people's hands when a knife that, you know, was selling for $130 is now selling for $170 to $180 plus shipping. So that's just something to consider with Benchmade. But their customer service is the best I've experienced so far with any knife company. So definitely a big thumbs up there. If you're looking for an auto knife that's legal to own or carry in your state, definitely give the 9101 and 9100, if you can find it on the used market, a consideration, because it's a very nice knife. I love it. I have EDC'd this knife for probably 6 months straight at one time, and it always handled my cutting tasks very well. One thing to consider is there is a 9052 model that has an upswept drop point blade. I believe it's a drop point. And so that's something to consider if you do not want the tanto blade style, because the tanto blade style is a little less utilitarian than an upswept drop point or clip point blade or anything like that, reverse tanto. So yeah, if you've made it this far in the video, please give me a like and a subscribe. I promise I will come out with many more reviews, good reviews. If I did not cover anything in this review that you would like to see in the next review, or information you would like to know about this knife, please leave it in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Thank you very much for watching, and Guns and Gear out.